Hi, my name's Tracy. This is my dad Ken from KenCraft hardwoods here in Toledo. Today we are going to take this walnut slab and turn it into one of these custom tables. Let's go.
Founded way back in 1990, KenCraft Company is a locally owned and family-run hardwood dealer located right here in Toledo, Ohio. They're always working on cool woodworking projects, so we thought we'd follow owner Ken and his son Tracy around as they work on one of those projects and learn a little bit more about the place.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to cut it down the middle so we can flatten it, join it, and get it all put back together. So our first step is we're going to mark it and then we're going to cut it.
KenCraft has been in business for almost 30 years and grown into one of the largest and most trusted hardwood dealers in town. But Tracy says it's always still all about the customer.
You know, whatever people need or want, we try to help them out with their projects because we have a lot bigger equipment than most people have at home. So, you know, they come in here and buy the materials and then we can help them do some of the cutting, planing, sanding, whatever they need to help them out in their project. Now we'll take it back and we'll start flattening it out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make it so when we have our table, it's not going to be all wobbly. We're going to make it flat. So this machine is going to make it flat. We don't want to sit here all day. We want to just grind right through it. So we're going to go through this about 1/8 of an inch at a time. It's a little loud.
Not only is Ken a pretty good woodworker, he's a pretty good businessman as well.
The live edge has grown in popularity over the last few years, and I ran across a good source to find the live edge slabs. Initially there was cherry, now we're getting in mostly walnut, and we learned how to make them larger so the tables can be bigger. Originally the slabs were relatively small, but as things have grown, we've learned how to do things better.
That looks good. That's going to be a pretty piece. So we've got the board flat on one side, which we did on the old joiner back there. Now we've moved into this century with the equipment. We've got a nice planer here. It's got carbide cutters that are helical head, so it's relatively quiet. And when we get into some of this wild grain, like you see right through here, it's not going to tear it all up. It's going to give us a fairly smooth cut. So we got our two halves. We're going to run them through both, keep them even so they're the same, so when we glue them together, they won't take a whole lot of sanding to keep them all nice and flat. So we're going to plane them. We have homeowners and contractors redesigning, helping them figure out how to do their projects. And it's the fun a lot, so we kind of jump around and, you know, do a little bit of everything throughout the day. It's a very, I don't say it's a hectic day, but it's a very busy day because we're constantly running back and forth, doing this, doing that, and get a chance to go work on a project.
So we've got them, now the boards are cleaned up on both faces and they're parallel to one another. The next step is to resaw, to split them open so we can book match them out.
We're basically going to make these pieces into 4 pieces so we can make a nice long side table. So we're going to cut these in half using our resaw. We have to put tension on the blade, and then as the board actually starts to cut and we hit some of those spots that have a lot of grain, that may heat up the blade, which causes the blade to stretch, and we'll be cranking up that switch again because we got to keep tension on the blade if we want to make a nice straight cut, which is what we're after, because we don't want to do a whole lot of sanding. So we're all set, so I'm going to turn it on and he's going to start getting the blade tension. Got. So that's going to be 1/2 of our table, and then the second piece will be those two we're going to glue together, and then these two we're going to glue together. Got some real nice grain there, and then we're going to butt them together like that, and that's going to be our complete top. We've got them glued together. And now, because we've actually glued end grain to end grain, which is not a very strong joint, we inlay little butterfly inlays. So we're going to line these up and route one of these pockets in, and then we can glue these right down. So that would just inlay right in, paste this all up, glue them in, let them set, and we're almost done.
And lastly, the guys sand down the top, mill their own legs at the shop,
So we started working on designs to make up a leg for the table, and we're still looking on other new designs too to go along with it. But it's been a challenge, but it's been fun because we've got a lot of good positive feedback.
and finally, the guys add some oil and put it all together.
So that's our live edge cast leg table with our original design, a little better look at it with the raised beading, the lettering, the raised area where the spreader goes. This one works out well. We're gonna do a larger one for a sit-down table, and we're gonna do a compact version for a bench. So hopefully everything works out well and we keep making them.
1, 2,